So now let's talk about something every real automation needs: error handling. Because in production, APIs can fail, rate limits can hit, and things would break. Good automation isn't about perfection, but it's about recovery. So let me show you how you can handle errors inside N8N. Let's come back into N8N and I'm going to walk you through the available nodes for error handling. Let's start first with the error trigger, okay? This error trigger node triggers a workflow when another workflow has an error. And I find that this is a very good way of managing errors inside your N8N instance. So this error trigger here would have an idea of every sort of workflows you have inside N8N, and it would be able to trigger this workflow that you would build anytime there's an error inside any of your workflows inside N8N. So in here, you can create an additional action. Maybe when there's an error inside a workflow inside your N8N instance, it should send an alert to Slack or it should send you an email. This lets you know that something is failing inside your N8N instance. I prefer this one because then it's not just specific and local to just that workflow, but then it's a global one. So you can have this workflow here set up and it would make sure that anytime there's an error inside any of your workflows, it sends an alert directly to Slack. The other way to handle errors inside N8N is to use the try catch pattern. So if I come in here, for instance, and I type in error, there's the stop and throw error node here as well. Now, this will throw an error inside the workflow itself. But if you are not in the workflow there, then you don't see it. But what it does is that it throws the error inside the workflow itself, right? So you need to be around to see that there's an error. If you're not constantly monitoring N8N, you wouldn't see that there's an error, which is why I like the global trigger workflow, because then it has context about all your workflows and is able to let you know if there's an error or if there's no error as well. So this is really good. This is a simple way to just let you know inside the workflow that there's something happening and you should go check it out. So for instance, if an API fails, then it will just throw an error and say this API is failing. Now, another thing I want to talk about is when you come into every node inside N8N and you click on settings, they have the retry on fail. So every node will have this, and it helps you are able to set the maximum number of tries it should go through before it fails. You're able to set how long it's able to wait between tries. You're able to also define an action that you need to take when a node execution fails. So for instance, you can define that when a node execution fails, you want to stop the execution. So it will just stop it and fill the workflow entirely. Or you can sort of set it in such a way that it will continue the workflow, but it will pass the error message as an item in regular output. You'll see that the workflow would complete, but then it will just pass that error message in that workflow. Or you can continue using the output you get from the error. So it really depends on what the use case you are looking at is, and it really depends on what you are building your workflow for. All right, so I want you to know that if you are doing this professionally, then a professional workflow isn't the one that never fails. We are not looking at perfection, but we want to make sure that if there's a failure, we need to be aware of it. So we want a workflow that is able to fail gracefully so that we can come in and then make any changes anytime there's an error happening inside the workflow.